Hi everyone and welcome back to 80 Passione. Day 9 at Roland Garros and so many interesting matches that told us once again that Rafa and Nole are still stronger, at least mentally, than the next generation. Today we had on the Philippe Chatrier the two coming players Musetti and Sinner challenging the world number one Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. But the outcome was in favor of the two champions. Rafael Nadal needed 2 hours and 17 minutes to defeat the world number 19 Jannik Sinner, who is 19 years old. And Rafa on Wednesday will play his 15th quarterfinal here at Roland Garros. But just let's rewind a little bit and go back, at the beginning of the match. It was 25 degrees in Paris, so perfect weather condition for Rafa's game, in particular, for his topspin, and immediately the Spanish champion started with a love game and he broke the Italian player in the second game with 4 unforced errors of Sinner. So everyone, even the commentators, probably were talking already a match that was going, on one side, but because I keep saying tennis is the sport of the devil, at that point Sinner managed to counter-break Rafa in the third game. He kept his serve in the fourth and he broke again Rafa in the fifth. Rafa basically in that game made 2 double faults and 2 unforced errors. At the end of the match, I believe Rafa will make 7 double faults, so for sure he was having some problems today with his serve, was really up and down. And on 3-5 for Sinner, the match probably changed completely. There was like a turning point because Rafa was able to win 4 consecutive games. So he kept the 9th game, his serving game to love. And in the 10th managed to counter-break the Italian player. I have to say, seems that Sinner was having a problem with his contact lens, an issue with his right eye. And in fact, it's not a coincidence, basically, that Rafa, in a way, received a massive gift and he got, the break back due to 4 unforced errors of Sinner, the last one due to a double fault. So probably we saw this film so many times. Rafa won the next serving game and he break again Sinner. And after 1 hour, he was leading 1 set to love. I have to say, not the best performance, probably one of the worst sets that I've seen Rafa playing at Roland Garros in terms of quality. Only 11 winners and 18 unforced errors. So if we look, at the difference, -7, like Rafa as well, confirmed at the end of the match. He said he started to become too passive. He was, too much outside the baseline and he let, Sinner to be more aggressive. I have to say that probably Rafa was very lucky at that point. He didn't deserve to win the first set. And I don't know what would happen if he lost, the opening set. The second set instead started in a completely different way. Rafa was much more relaxed. He was dictating much more with his forehand. And as well, he was getting, very aggressive from both wings. So immediately Rafa, after just 15 minutes, was 4 love up with 2 breaks. But once again, he started a little bit to struggle, to get a little bit too short with his shots. So Sinner managed basically to get a break back due to a double fault of Rafa in the 5th game. He won the 6th on serve, and again in the 7th he managed to break Rafa, who before saved a break point with a serve 200 kilometers, but after he couldn't against the following one. In the 8th game, Rafa probably kept cool. He managed again to get another break back, but once again, due more to unforced errors of Sinner in that game, just 3 out of 4 points came due to unforced errors of Sinner. And after in the following game, he secured the set with a love game. In that at that point the second set lasted 45 minutes. Just, you know, if we were looking at the it was a real roller coaster. 3 breaks for Rafa, 2 breaks for Sinner, more or less like it happened in the first set. Instead, the third set was completely different. Rafa restarted, you know, to dictate again. He got immediately an early break in the first game. And there was a lot of variation. He was showing, you know, once again all the variety of his shots, and he kept, you know, the 2 following serving games, you know, to love. He was serving much more aces, and once again in the 5th game he got, you know, the 3rd break of the set. Probably looking at the numbers, they were showing, you know, 31 winners overall for Rafa, only 10 for Sinner. 31 unforced errors for the Spanish champion, and 41 for the young Italian talent. So probably the match, I have to say, was more based on the unforced errors that Sinner was producing. I was quite surprised because I always consider him a player very patient, more like a Djokovic style, someone who loves, you know, kind of longer rallies. But today probably his game plan didn't pay him back. In terms of points won, 99 for Rafa versus 60 of Sinner. In terms of break points converted, now 9 out of 14 for Rafa and 4 out of 7 for Sinner. Probably, as I said, you know, I was not particularly impressed overall by the performance of Rafa. It was a real roller coaster, ups and downs. When Rafa, you know, he was dictating with his forehand, he was impressive. At the beginning, I think he was getting too stubborn, trying, you know, to eat too much on Sinner's backhand, kind of a cross court. But after, when he started to play much more down the line with both his wings, with his forehand and backhand, he started, you know, to get more winners. So when after he was asked during the interview on court from Fabrice Santoro, you know, his feeling after the match, his impression, he said it's always a pleasure, you know, to play in front of the crowd on the Philippe Chatrier. I have great memories on this court. I think, you know, Sinner definitely will have a very bright future, and I'm not surprised, you know, that at the beginning he was kind of challenging me. And as well, Rafa confirmed that probably his mistake in the first set was to play too defensive, and he as well said, I got lucky when I get, you know, the break back when Sinner was on serve, trying, you know, to close the first set. When they asked him, what do you think about your next opponent, Diego Schwartzman, he said, it's always a challenge to play against him. We're very good friends, even off court. Hope to be ready. We played last year the semi-final, so I will definitely need to increase the level of my tennis. So Rafa, thank you so much for giving me another present on the day of my wedding anniversary. At the beginning, I have to say I was very nervous, but after you managed to bring it home. Just looking at other results, like I mentioned, Diego Schwartzman won in 3 straight sets against the German Struff. It was an incredible match. match because Struff was 5-1 up. He went twice on serve for closing the opener. Basically, Schwartzman managed to save 7 set points. The first set was pushed to the tiebreak that Schwartzman, I think, won with a score of 11-9. In the second, Struff was the first again to break the Argentinian, but after Diego was good enough, to come back to level the score and win the second set with a score of 6-4, and after he won the third set with a score of 7-5. So as well for Diego, another very solid performance. Like Rafa, he hasn't lost any set so far in the tournament, so it's going to be a very tough challenge, and I'm already nervous, for their match on Wednesday. As you know, Berrettini is already through due to Federer's withdrawal. But another very entertaining match played on the Philippe Chatrier just before Rafa's match was the one that saw the world number one Novak Djokovic against the Italian young talent Lorenzo Musetti, as well 19-year-old. I have to say he played an amazing match. For a while, he reminded me the performance of a very young Roger Federer back in 2001 when he defeated in 5 sets at the last 16 Pete Sampras. I was having that kind of a feeling. The Italian was down, 3 games down, 3-1 down in the first set. He managed, to get the break back, and after he pushed Novak to the tiebreak, a thrilling tiebreak that he won, for 8-6. He was playing, every kind of shot, a beautiful one-hand backhand, very aggressive forehand, insane drop shots, and the kind of craziness that probably you need to play on the Philippe Chatrier against the world number one. In the second set, he was 1 break up after Djokovic managed to level, and the players went again on the tiebreak. In this case, it was much more one-sided, and the Italian won with a score of 7-2. They were showing some statistics so far. Lorenzo Musetti played 9 tie-breaks in his career, and he won all of them. But all of a sudden, from the third set, Novak went, to the dressing room, probably to get change and to cool down. Everything changed. The Italian got broken immediately, and Novak in only 20 minutes he secured the third set with a score of 6-1, and even the fourth was even worse, 6-love, a bagel. And probably, the Italians seem completely out of answers, demotivated. He couldn't find, his mojo, his rhythm back. And as well, when he was 4-love in the fifth, he decided basically to pull out due to a kind of a physical issue. When they asked Novak in the press conference, what do you think about Lorenzo Musetti? Definitely said the experience is the best teacher. I wish him all the best. He's on the right path. If he keeps playing, and training like he has been doing so far, I definitely think he's going to have a bright future. And it's a learning experience, basically, to get that kind of ability to cope with pressure. It's not easy. So as well, even Novak Djokovic spent very nice words for Lorenzo Musetti. But like I keep saying, tennis is before talent, before beautiful shots. These like mental strength, and I believe that is the secret why Rafa, Nole and Roger are still dominating, even if they're getting older. Probably like wine, they get better and better and better. So at this point, Novak Djokovic will play on Wednesday is a quarter final against Matteo Berrettini. Looking at the women instead, we didn't have very entertaining entertaining or challenging matches because Sloane Stephens lost in 2 straight sets with a score of 6-2, 6-love against Krajcikova, the same player who defeated Svitolina the other day, the Czech player number 33 in the world. No break points converted at all by Sloane Stephens. Coco Gauff as well won in 2 straight sets against the number 25 in the world, Jabeur, with a score of 6-3, 6-1. She was very, very dominating. She didn't give any break points to her opponent. I think more or less not even 1 hour of a match. She won 55 points versus 36 of her opponent. And also the runner-up, last year runner-up, Sofia Kenin lost in 2 straight sets against Sakkari with a score of 6-1, 6-3. So at this point, on Wednesday, Coco Gauff will play against Krajcikova, her quarter-final, and Sakkari is waiting for the winner of Kostyuk against the defending champion Iga Swiatek. They are going to play on the Philippe Chatrier at 9 p.m. tonight local time. Just looking at order of play of tomorrow, we have back, the bottom half in action. So Alexander Zverev, who yesterday defeated in 3 straight sets Kei Nishikori, we play first at 4 p.m. local time against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Instead, night session 9 p.m. Stefano Tsitsipas versus Daniil Medvedev. Regarding the women, the bottom half quarter-final, 12 p.m. Local time on the Philippe Chatrier, Zidansek versus the Spanish Badosa Gibert, and instead immediately after this match, Rybakina, who defeated yesterday Serena Williams against Pavlyuchenkova. So a lot of more interesting tennis to enjoy. Stay tuned here on 80 Passione. Don't forget to subscribe. See you tomorrow for another video, more or less at this time. Ciao!